Hello and welcome guys, and welcome to this vlog. Precisely 40 days to go for your examination. Yes, January 2023 examination is around the corner now. Guys, it's like a do or die situation for each one of the student who's giving his or her attempt in the January 2023 examination. These last 30 to 40 days will definitely be decisive in deciding your fate, in deciding your result, irrespective of whatever efforts you have put in last 6 months. So these 30-40 days are definitely a game changer. A student who has not studied for last 6 months, but if he works really hard during these 30 days, 40 days, he is definitely winning a chance to attain that goal, that examination qualification. He is definitely destined to do that. On the contrary, if a person has worked really hard in the last 6 months, but in these last 30 days or last 40 days, he fails to put in the necessary effort, he fails to burn the midnight oil, then guys, the result can be a havoc. So, here am I to guide you, to inspire you, to motivate you, to give it your best shot, guys. For the last 30-40 days, few days to go. For intermediate students, yes, you'll be CMA finalists very soon. So don't worry if you don't get an opportunity to see your favorite Netflix movie. You don't get an opportunity to go out with your friends who are partying. You don't get an opportunity to enjoy winter ice cream with your friends. Don't regret at all. All these sacrifices are definitely going to be worth it when you come in your final CMA final. And for all the CMA final students, guys, just imagine, instead of Miss or Mr., the prefix that you will be given will be 1 in million, which is CMA. So the rewards are motivating, the rewards are amazing. The only thing that you need to do is work really hard, work honestly, work sincerely towards your goal of attaining good marks in your January 2023 examination. In this particular video, I'm going to talk to each one of my intermediate students as well as final students. Yes, we are jointly making efforts through test series, through guidance, through marathons to make you a successful professional, to ensure that you clear your examinations well. So this is my effort to guide all of you towards certain subjects, at least, which I teach. So in this particular session, we are going to discuss about 4 subjects, 2 subjects for intermediate, 2 subjects for final. For intermediate, I'm going to talk about audit and direct taxation, how to study, what are the important topics, what can we expect in the examination, what not. For CMA final students, I'm going to talk about 2 subjects, cost and management audit and BVM SPM. But before coming on to particular subjects, let me touch upon certain common points for all of you, which will be relevant for each one of you, whether it is CMA intermediate student or it's CMA final student. These points will be relevant for each one of you. Alright, so guys, please consider these points for January 2023 examination. Don't pick any new reference material or book as of now. So the worst thing that you can do to yourself is, on an influence by your friend or an influence by any of the teachers online who's teaching online, or under any other influence, if you start studying some other book or some other material which you have not referred to earlier, it will be fatal for you, for your examination. It will be fatal for your examination. So it's better to revise the books which you have studied for last 6 months or for which the teacher has given you. Just go on studying those books, revise them twice, thrice, 4 times, rather than picking a new book and studying it all together from scratch. Don't do that. Don't pick any new reference material or book at this juncture. This is not the point to start studying anything new from any other new source. Start studying. It's definitely not the point. Revision are the key to success. As I've already stated, guys, revising one book 3 times will definitely fetch you good marks as compared to revising multiple books, referring to multiple books. So do quite handful of revisions. So how many revisions are ideal revisions, guys? 3 times, I think, should bare minimum be the revision quantum. Okay, so 3 times. If you are able to attain more, good. If you are able to attain less, not too bad, not too bad. 2 revisions, not too bad. 3 is ideal. Okay, Past examination question. Yes, guys. Now for the next 40 days, for the next 30 days, please pull out time to do past examination questions. These are very, 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 very important. Okay. There's something called scanner. Please buy those scanner from market. These scanner will give you a compilation, chapter-wise compilation of all the questions which have come from that particular chapter in last 10 attempts. They are solved, and just practice from them. So this is the key to success. Attempt past examination questions for sure, because they are very, very important from a preparation standpoint. At least I make sure that in all my books, whichever subject I teach, I incorporate past examination questions in the book itself. So these are very, very important. And yes, point number 4, I know you've been lectured a lot on this particular issue by your parents, by your peers, by your teachers, by everyone who meet you. But guys, this definitely is the need of the hour. This definitely is required at this point in time when your exam is only 40 days away or 30 days away or 35 days away. This is the need of the hour. Guys, stay away from mobile phones. Stay away from electronic gadgets, be it tab or anything else. Stay away from social media. This is going to eat away your brain. This is going to eat away your energy. This is going to eat away your focus, your attention. Everything is going to be ruined because of these 3 things. I'm not saying just, detach yourself from these absolutely, but have fixed time. While you are studying, make sure that you only study. Make sure there's no mobile phone around. Switch off mobile phone, give it to your mother and tell her to give it back to you after 8 hours, after 10 hours when your study schedule is over. Don't compromise on this point. Don't compromise on this point, guys. What I've seen is, if I message any of my student, I message any of you, I WhatsApp any of you. So if I message any of my student, hi Pallavi, within fraction of a second you reply me back, hi sir, how are you? Which means that your notifications for WhatsApp are on. Which means that you've allowed your studies to be broken every minute, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes your study is being broken. Absolutely not a good sign, guys. Absolutely not a good sign. Please refrain from using social media, mobile phone. Trust me, all your teachers' efforts, all your parents' efforts, all your efforts will go in vain if you don't leave this habit. So please, it's a request, it's a humble request. Please leave these things. If you're not on Instagram, if you're not on Snapchat, if you're not on WhatsApp for next month and a half, heavens are not going to fall. You're not the Prime Minister of the country that, the economy of the country will fall if you're not active on social media. Please understand, this hour is important for you, not for the world at large. You need not see what world is doing. World need not see what you are doing, because your success is going to speak for yourself. This is a very important point, guys. I harp upon this point in my almost every video. Next, health is of paramount importance, especially students from North India. The weather is changing very, very frequently, and I myself, I was under weather for past 1 month. Almost 1 month I was under weather. So weather is fast changing. Winters are approaching. Please keep a good health check. Please keep a good tab on your health. Do not eat a lot from outside, because that is going to impact your health. Eat home food, eat light food, and especially during the examination time, eat very, very light food. Eat food which is easily digestible. Eat home food, preferably home food. And don't yearn for eating anything from outside. Last but not at all the least, test yourself regularly. So test series of Audit, Intermediate, Tax, Intermediate, Cost Audit, Final, BVM SPM, Final, IDT, Indirect Tax, Final is already underway, is already happening. Test series is happening on a weekly basis. Only 4 weeks are left. So test series is happening on a weekly basis of all these subjects. If you're still not in the WhatsApp group, please call on this number or WhatsApp on this number and request them to add you in the inter or final respectively, the respective WhatsApp group. Please test yourself regularly from now onwards. So these were certain generic points which I want to discuss with you. Now coming on to the specific subjects. I'll start with Group 1, Direct Taxation. Undisputedly the most important and the most lengthiest, the most complicated subject of Group 1, which is Direct Taxation. Okay, its length is actually disturbing. Its length actually demotivates the students the morale of the student is devastated because of the length and breadth of this particular subject. But if you minutely study about the important topics of this particular subject, you'll be amazed to see that merely 7 to 8 chapters, the most important chapters of this particular subject, will actually play the trick for you. Actually. So, yes, these are the 20 study notes which are there in our syllabus. So, some of them are truncated. I'll just show all of them to you. Guys, out of the scanner, please mark the important chapters. That's it. So, the important chapters will be residential status, of course, salaries, PGBP capital gain, and assessment of various persons. So these are the most important chapters out of all the chapters, which will form A category chapters. Okay, these are A category chapters. Yes, you have to do A category chapter plus B category chapter also. What are B category chapters? TDS, B category chapter, TDS. Return and PAN assessment procedures, B category chapter. Set off and carry forward, B category chapter. Income from other sources, B category chapter. And income from house property, B category chapter. So, just be a little specific in your studies, be a little choosy in your studies. Guys, let me give you a disclaimer, okay? This ABC analysis is based on the past examination questions, and trend might not repeat, might or might not. So there's a little bit of risk in it, but a calculated risk, okay? You can easily take this risk, a calculated risk is there. So if you just complete A and B category chapters, you have played the trick. You will easily score 60% marks in your direct taxation. So instead of focusing on each of the chapters equally, just take help of the scanner. Scanner will tell you which chapters are important chapters. Just pay attention to those chapters rather than doing all the chapters in an equal, important way. So allocate your time judicially. Allocate your resources judicially on this particular subject, because it's a very, very lengthy subject. So I've indicated what are the important chapters of direct taxation. Now coming on to audit, this is a dark horse. What do you mean by dark horse? Guys, this is going to definitely benefit you in your examination, because it is of 50 marks in group 2. I have now come to group 2. It is of 50 marks and the course content is really limited. So, company accounts and audit, course content is limited. Audit portion is very limited and it will fetch you 50 marks. So, very easy to score in audit. 2 chapters which are A category chapters, company audit and chapter number 7, miscellaneous audit. Now, if you look at your study material, there are no 7 chapters in your study material. There are only 2 chapters in your study material. Guys, this bifurcation I have done for teaching to my students, and this bifurcation has been done with reference to your study mat only. Your study note number 1 has been bifurcated into several parts. Study note number 2 has also been bifurcated into several parts. So you can easily find these topics in your study number 1 or study note number 2. So company audit and miscellaneous audit, 2 chapters which are definitely going to be of a very high weightage in your examination. So these 2 chapters will almost be 20 marks out of 50 marks in your examination. So almost 50% will be covered by 2 chapters. So see the beauty. Okay, then if I talk about the B category chapters, cost audit and secretarial audit, very, very important chapter. Then internal check, internal control, internal audit, chapter number 5 and chapter number 3, B category chapter. Rest all of them C category chapter. But yes, guys, I will highly recommend you to study all the chapters equally well, because they are small. They're going to fetch you good marks, clubbed with company accounts, 50 marks, which is of 50 marks. Okay. So these are the important topics of CMA Intermediate Group 2 audit. Now coming on to my dearest final students, and yes, who are going to be CMAs very, very, very soon. Coming on to them. Okay. First of all, discussing about cost and management audit. Guys, 2 subjects. Both I teach. And not because I teach I'm telling you this, but frankly this is a fact that both these subjects, cost and management audit as well as BVM, SPM, are the most scoring subjects of CMA final. Talk about set off, talk about rank. These 2 chapters are going to contribute in your examination in a superb way, in a very high way, guys. So just make sure that you study these two chapters, these two subjects very well, because they are going to be very important in your result. Very, they'll make it or break it. These two subjects are and the best part is that these two subjects are precise, they are concise, their material is not very vast, they are very limited to the course content is quite limited to a very few hours. So if you see my videos also, they are not huge, they are very limited. My book compilation is very limited. So definitely these two subjects are going to be very important for all of you. Now, even when these are very small, I'm going to tell you the important aspects of these two subjects as well. Okay, let's see the important aspect of these two subjects as well. All right, cost and management audit. The most important chapter number 2, company cost records and audit rules 2014 amended till 2019. These are the rules which are very important to our examination. Practical questions are going to come in your examination from this particular chapter, practical questions. And guys, in your study mat, CMA study mat, in your study mat, the practical question comes in study note number 15. If you are referring to my book, if you have taken my course, if you have taken my book, if you are referring to my book is available on Amazon, available on my website also. If you are referring to my book or my study material, I have merged chapter number 15 and chapter number 2. I have merged them together because the questions belong to chapter number 2 only. So there are certain questions which belong to chapter number 5 as well. So the relevant questions are being merged in the relevant chapters. That is what I have done in my book. But if you are referring to the study mat of the institute, then chapter number 2 and chapter number 15 are separate. So I'm talking about both them consolidated way. So chapter number 2 plus chapter number 5 plus chapter number 15. These three are the most important chapters of your syllabus. Most important, guys. Please note again, study note number 2, study note number 5, study note number 15. These three study notes are going to form almost 25 to 30% of your examination, minimum. Therefore, very important. Okay. So chapter number 2, the most important chapter of your syllabus. Okay, so I'm going to mark chapter number 2 as important, chapter number 2 very important. Then comes chapter number 5, okay, study note number 5. Guys, in study note number 5, there are cost accounting standards, and cost accounting standards from 1 to 10 are the most important cost accounting standards. So there are 24 cost accounting standards. Out of 24, 1 to 10 are the most important cost accounting standards. 11 to 24, I'll tell you a trick to study 11 to 24 in a very effective manner. I'll tell you a trick, okay. 11 to 24 contains two parts. Common parts, common means the common provisions which are there in 1 to 10 as well as 11 to 24. For example, finance cost is not added while calculating the cost. This is a common point which is there in all 24 cost accounting standards. Then another one, abnormal cost is excluded from the cost. This is a common point which is there in all the 24 cost accounting standards. So 11 to 24, there are common points and there are uncommon points. Uncommon points like pollution control cost, future remediation will be treated differently, and the pollution control cost which is not related to future is to be treated differently. This is an uncommon point which is specific to pollution control cost. Then overburden removal cost. There are certain terminologies which are very unique to overburden removal cost. So guys, for 11 to 24, you have to just study the uncommon points. If you are referring to my book, then the uncommon points are highlighted by way of tables. So you specifically know what are the uncommon points, and from 11 to 24, you only read uncommon points. So this is a small trick which I give you to study the cost accounting standard. But yes, 1 to 10 are very important. No compromise on it. So I've told you 3 chapters, 2, 5, 15. 2, 5, 15. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you 3 more chapters. Okay. I'm going to tell you 3 more chapters. Please listen to me very carefully. All right. So 3 more chapters are 10, 11, 13. Please take a note of it. 10. I am referring to CMA study mat. Okay. If you refer to my book, then these 3 chapters are chapter 10, chapter 9, chapter 8, chapter 9, chapter 10. My book. If you are referring to my book, then chapter 8, chapter 9, chapter 10. If you are referring to CMA study material, then study note 10, study note 11, study note 13. Guys, study note 10, study note 11, study note 13 combined together will definitely give you 20 marks. So 25 to 30 marks from the first 3 chapters, 25 to 30 marks from these 3 chapters makes 50% of the syllabus. Out of the total chapters, merely 6 chapters command 50% of the syllabus. And that is the trick. That is the trick. You have to focus on these chapters superbly. That is the most important thing. Okay, so these are the important aspects of cost audit, plus one chapter which is a bonanza chapter, which is very easy and will have a short question in your examination, is professional ethics. It will definitely come in your examination for 6 marks, 5 marks, 7 marks, whatever it is. So please remember to do this particular aspect also. And one practical question from chapter number 9, management reporting issues under cost audit. One practical chapter from question from this particular chapter, definitely short will be there in your examination. Rest of the chapters are category C chapters. You can quickly go through them. Don't leave them. I don't suggest leaving even a single word of your syllabus. Don't leave them, but go through them quickly. Don't spend as much time and resources on the rest of the chapters. And last but not all the least, BVM, SPM, valuation and strategic performance management, divided into 8 study notes. And guys, if first of all I'll talk about SPM. SPM is of 50 marks. And business valuation is again of 50 marks. Okay, 50-50. So if I talk about SPM, SPM contains 4 chapters, which are these first 4 chapters. SPM contains, strategic performance management contains these 4 chapters. Okay, now guys, one practical question from risk management, one practical question from economic efficiency for sure, no doubt about it. 6 to 8 marks. One practical question from risk management, one practical question from economic efficiency, sure shot. One theoretical question from risk management, almost certain. One theoretical question. Theoretical question from economic efficiency, not probable. It might come as a 1 mark or 2 mark question in your MCQs, but generally doesn't come from economic efficiency. So no theoretical question from chapter number 3, no theoretical question, only one practical question. One practical question, one theoretical question from enterprise risk management, and theoretical question from the first 2 chapters. Theoretical questions from the first 2 chapters. That's how the proportion of examination marks will be for 50 marks of strategic performance management, most likely. So this is not my prediction, neither have I got some news from the Institute of Cost Accountants of India telling about the exam pattern. No, I don't know about exam pattern. Even I'm contemplating what can be the exam pattern, just like all other faculties are contemplating what is the exam pattern. It is again my contemplation. I am not aware about it, but yes, at least I can give you some tips on what will be the marks bifurcation, what will be the importance bifurcation. This is SPM. So none of the chapters is a not important chapter. All the 4 chapters are very important chapters. Okay, coming on to BVM. BVM has got a vast course. Okay, most important chapter of BVM, valuation of mergers and acquisition, 10 marks, almost certain that question will be there. It can be more than 10 marks also, but very certain, almost certain that merger and acquisition 10 marks question will definitely be there. Then valuation models and basics of valuation. Now these 2 chapters are definitely important chapters, which definitely will command around 6 to 8 marks of your examination. So first important chapter, second important chapter, valuation basics and valuation models. Okay, now talking about chapter number 7, study note number 7. Okay, let me tell you, liabilities is definitely not an important topic at all in chapter number 7. Inventory is not an important chapter in not an important part in chapter number 7. But human resource, copyright, goodwill, brand, very important. Bonds and shares, very important. And guys, in my study material, if you refer to my study material, I've added value added part in basics of valuation. My value addition part is there in basics of valuation. So it will get covered in basics of valuation itself. So out of these assets and liabilities, what are the key important assets and liabilities which you should study? Human resources, brands, goodwill, copyright, bonds and shares. Inventories you can skip, liabilities you can skip. But the most important one is mergers and acquisition. This is the most important one in your examination. So this is the split of BVM, SPM, business valuation and strategic performance management. Now talking about these subjects, Guys, I've been teaching these subjects for quite some time now, so you can say that these are the intuitions of a teacher. This is the experience of a teacher. But yes, it is nothing to do with any reference that I've got from any institute source or something like that. Nothing of that sort, guys. It's just an intuition and experience which I have gathered over a decade of teaching CMA students. This is just my experience which is speaking out of me as of now for your January 2023 examination. And the best part is that January 2023 examination is on an offline mode, which means that you get an opportunity to present your answer well, write conclusions, write notes, write footnotes, give full disclosures, and yes, you get the benefit of step marking. No more hassle of online examination. So it's a very good attempt. It's a very good thing to give it your best shot and leave rest to God. So guys, yes, that is the message. That is the strategy which I have come with for all of you, the ninja strategy for preparation of examination. Yes, guys, precisely 40 days to go. Please bifurcate your time appropriately, suitably. Give time to scanner, give time to past examination questions. For sure, they are the very, very important part of your syllabus. So give importance to the scanner and the past examination questions for sure. And I'm very, 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 very confident that if you follow all these simple steps, if you follow these analysis, if you follow these importance, chapter importance strategies, you're definitely going to succeed. And I'm definitely going to get a message, sir, I qualified CMA. Sir, I qualified inter and I'm a CMA finalist now. Give me classes for CMA final. And guys, I'll happily have that message and give you classes for CMA final. So yes, with that positive note, and hope and pray that all of you succeed in your examination. All the very best and happy studying.